Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. We're talking about week 1 of Halloween-a-thon, my week 1. If you don't know what Halloween-a-thon is, it's hosted by Kelsey with Slime and Slashers. I will link her announcement video down below. It goes all the way through the end of October, so there's plenty of time to get involved. It's a lot of fun. I actually did a lot on week 1, so we're going to talk about it. Check out my earrings. My mom got these for me. I love them. They're so cute. She got them at Spirit Halloween. I'm not even gonna go in that store this year because I don't have any money. But yeah, she sent me like a whole bunch of pictures of earrings and was like, which ones do you want? So I thought these were really fun. I just had to kick Eddie out. He was in here making a whole lot of noise. I was gonna let him be in the room while I was filming because he can't be left unsupervised in the rest of the house. But he was making so much noise I had to put him outside on the porch. I feel really bad, but yeah, I don't really have the house cat proofed yet. So yeah, unfortunately he was very distracting to the video and I didn't want y'all to just hear him making all this noise while I was filming. So unfortunately I had to kick him out. If y'all missed it, last week's video was part of what I did in week 1, and I decorated my entire house for Halloween. I baked sugar cookies, and also last week's video is when I introduced Eddie. He's my new cat. Wasn't looking for a cat, he found me. That's how things go. I didn't even think I was ready for a pet, and probably I'm really not financially ready for a pet, but I'm able to feed him. Like I put in the budget cat food and stuff, so he's at least being fed. And he's less than a year old, so that's good. But I do have to come up with the money to get him neutered and get a litter box for him and stuff, because right now he's like a dog. He goes to the door when he wants out, and I let him out to go potty and then he comes right back to the door. It's wild. So he's really been a good cat, and he's gotten to where he sleeps in the house all night and he sleeps on my belly. It's so sweet. He sleeps all night on my belly and he pretty much sleeps all night. He's a weird cat. I thought cats were nocturnal and he would be up all night keeping everybody awake. But I was really worried about him. I get worried about him getting attacked at night because we live in the country and he gets bullied by this really big other cat. So I was worried about him at night, and a couple nights ago I was like, I'm gonna see how he does all night in the house. So I just put him on my belly and he started purring and he went to sleep. And I'm like, cool. And he slept all night. It was the sweetest thing. And then the next morning he went to the door. Now I let him out. He went to go potty and came right back to the door and went back in. So eventually I do want a litter box for like when it gets colder, and also in the middle of the night if he needs to go out, so I don't have to let him out in the middle of the night. But I do need to get him a litter box as soon as I can. I was able to get him this like free collar thing, and it has a QR code. So if people scan it, it'll tell them where he belongs. It'll give them my phone number and address and everything. So that's really good. So if he's ever out and he gets lost, they'll know where he, who to call and stuff. So that's great. But he's actually been a lot of fun and really good company, and he's a snuggler, and he keeps me warm. I think I keep him warm. He's a sweetheart. Anyhow, all that to say, Eddie just got kicked out. Again. We're still learning each other. The other day I found him in the trash can, in the house trash can, butt in the air, head in the trash. I got him out. He growled at me, he kind of growled, and with a mouthful of mashed potatoes. And I'm like, Eddie, really? I have a spray bottle. I found a spray bottle that just has water in it. So that was the best thing ever. Somebody told me to spray him with water when he's doing things he's not supposed to be doing. So like if he gets on the table, on the cabinet, whatever, I spray him. He has been so much better behaved with that thing. It's amazing. So sometimes he'll forget, or he'll think, maybe it'll be worth it, and he'll jump up anyways, and I'll spray him, and he's like, okay, maybe not. But anyhow. So let's get into week 1 after all that babbling. Okay, so diamond painting. This is how much I've completed. This is how much I've completed of the diamond painting. Quite a bit. You could really see it on this pumpkin. It really stands out. I was hoping to finish more. This is a weird one because you actually put the glue on yourself. So you put the glue and then you kind of let it dry for a little bit, and then it just has the sticky residue, and then you put the little diamonds on there. So it's a little different. So this isn't sticky yet, the rest of this, because I haven't applied the glue, so I'm just applying it a little bit at a time. But yeah, it's a little different. Well, let's get into the books first, and then I'll tell you the movies, okay? I read 6 books. Let's go in order, maybe from like least to most favorite, but I enjoyed all of them. I did not hate any of these. I enjoyed all of them. They were all a lot of fun. So there's really no like least favorite. They were all a lot of fun. I'm just gonna save my 5 stars for last. That's what I'm gonna do. First one was sent to me by the author. It was The Lone Wolf Cafe by Sydney Wilder. See if I can explain this. The main character is Nettie, and Nettie is a werewolf who was forced into the human world. Like she kind of fled from the werewolf world, and she was forced into the human world. She's accidentally stumbled upon a little witch community called Wisteria Grove, and Wisteria Grove it's in Maine, actually. So this whole thing is set in Maine in the fall, which is an excellent setting. She meets this witch named Rowena, and Rowena is an herbalist witch, and she runs the cafe in this witch town. And she hires Nettie on to be the new baker. And Nettie is a werewolf pretending to be a witch. Well, she's a werewolf pretending to be a human who is now pretending to be a witch. So, yeah. Rowena thinks that she's a human, so she thinks that she's a human, so she knows that she's pretending to be a witch, but she really thinks that she's a human, but she's actually a werewolf. I know that's all really confusing. So there's a lot of pretending going on here in this witchy town, and there's a lot at stake. Because werewolves and witches do not get along historically, and this town has a lot of power, obviously, because they are full of witches. Now, Nettie thinks it's going to be fine. She could pretend to be a witch for a few weeks because she only plans on staying in this town for a few weeks. But she starts to develop feelings for Rowena. You know, she starts to have a little crush on her. Another thing that keeps happening is Nettie is very anxious. She's always been able to control when she switches between human form and werewolf form. But with her anxiety, her ears and tail keep popping out. So she's having to hide her ears and her tail popping out. She's having to hide it and everything. She's having to really try to hide her identity. And it's really a struggle. And, you know, in a town full of witches that hate werewolves. The town itself is sort of mysterious, and Rowena is very mysterious, and she's sort of quiet and introverted, and you know, there seems to be something about Rowena. There seems to be something about the town itself, and you know, Nettie's trying to figure out what's going on there. But of course, Nettie, she ends up falling for Rowena. She ends up falling for the town. She really doesn't want to leave the town. But of course, her secrets are pretty deep and her secrets are pretty big. So she has to figure all this out. She has a lot to navigate. Setting is perfect. It's very Halloween. It's very autumnal. It's very cute. I love a good sapphic romance. A few chapters in, I was getting Legends and Lattes vibes. Definitely. The coziness of it, the small town vibes, also the cafe. Even though this wasn't lattes, it was more tea. And there was a lot of debate between Rowena and Nettie about tea versus coffee. That was really cute. Also, you know how in Legends and Lattes, the whole building of the cafe and the menu and all that, there was a lot of that and like working with recipes and things like that that gave me Legends and Lattes vibes. I liked how anxiety was handled in the story. I thought it was really unique the way it was done. I thought it was really unique the way it was presented. It was really it was presented in a really fun way, if you can call anxiety fun. But I liked the way that it was presented. It was different. I also liked the slow burn romance between Nettie and Rowena. I thought it was really sweet. I also really loved the journey of self-discovery that Nettie went on. I loved following along with her journey. Just seeing her find herself was really special. I didn't really care for the spice scenes that were in here. I didn't like the way they were written. To me, they were, I don't know, just, they were a little cringy for me. I'm not gonna say why or anything, just because I don't want to mess it up for anybody. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But yeah, I could have done without the spice scenes in this one. Also, there are these characters in here that are elementals, and they are freaking adorable. They don't have any like dialogue, but they are full of personality. Even without dialogue, they really don't need it. And they are just the absolute cutest. They were like my favorites. I would say this one is really good for anybody that enjoys like cozy fantasy. And if you're looking for something cozy and autumnal and a fun Halloween read, you may really enjoy this one. I had a good time with it. Next we have my 4-star reads, and they were both Goosebumps. I read these for the Goosebumps challenge hosted by Youngs and the Restless. I did get all my reads in, by the way, spoiler alert, but I did get all my reads in for the challenge, and you'll see another one in next week's video. One of them was The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. This was a lot of fun. I don't think I had read this one before, or at least I don't remember reading it before, but this was a lot of fun. This was actually a lot darker than I remember Goosebumps getting. They were pretty high stakes. This was like real life dangers these kids got into, and things that, I mean, kind of had me on the edge of my seat for Goosebumps, and things that I wouldn't have expected. I'm like, I don't remember Goosebumps getting this dark. No wonder I really liked Goosebumps as a kid. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I could see why this got me into really enjoying horror, and I could see how this like stair-stepped me into the horror genre, because this definitely got dark. What got really irritated me though, the kid made the same mistake and got lost the same way, like made the same mistake in getting lost like 3 times. And I'm like, kid, it is a simple fix that you could have done to avoided this after the first time. Like, I realize you're a child, but like, seriously, can you just get it together? Yeah, but, and then you have the same like fake outs that, but anyways, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Pretty high stakes for a kid's book, pretty high stakes. And like I said, that kept me on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, how are we getting out of this? But yeah, it was really good. Next one is The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight. This was another really fun one. This one was set in the kind of more in the summertime, maybe late summer, but then like the nights were cooler. But the autumnal vibes for me came from because it's a cornfield and there are scarecrows. Like, I feel like this should have been set in the autumn, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. These, I've already told y'all what these were about because I told y'all what I would be reading, but yeah, this was fun. The stakes weren't as high as The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I love that we always have like at least one obnoxious character. I didn't really know where it was going. I didn't know like what the angle was. I mean, I kind of had an idea about who the villain was, and kind of a little bit where it was going, but not exactly. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love a bunch of creepy scarecrows. It was fun. Then I read Yours Cruelly, Elvira by Cassandra Peterson. I took way too long to read this. It's been on my shelf forever, and I really enjoyed it. It goes into like her childhood and kind of how she grew up and her parents, and how she got into acting, and kind of the setbacks and like a lot of the no's that she got, and you know, all those things, and even some of the sexism that she's experienced and sexual harassment that she's experienced. And you know, it goes into a lot of different things, but I really enjoyed it. She's lived a very fascinating life because it goes into a lot of the other famous people that she's met, and the people that she has gotten to hang out with, and some of the shenanigans that she has gotten into. And it was just a lot of fun to read. And she's just really fascinating, and she has lived such an interesting life, and I really enjoyed it. This was, I don't know if I mentioned that these are my 5 stars. It's hard to give memoirs anything but a 5-star unless they're just written really crappy, because you know, it's somebody's life. And I really just, I never know how to rate them, because you know, you don't want to give somebody like a crappy rating on like their life story. Then I read Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. I already told y'all what this was about in my TBR video, so I'm not get too into it, and this is a middle grade. I had a great time with this. This has been on my TBR for a couple of years, and I keep meaning to read it. I'm glad I finally did. It's a lot spookier than I expected. Everybody has said that this is really spooky for a middle grade, but it really was. This was, again, creepy scarecrows and a truly spooky setting. Loved the setting. And again, I'm like, how are we getting out of this? Are we getting out of this? I didn't know how they were going to get out of it. I didn't know where it was going to go. I was surprised, and I like that I was surprised. The kids in it, like the little group of kids, they were good characters. I really loved their characters. I loved the backstory. I like that we got to know the main character a little bit and why she was the way that she was. I like that she was a little snarky. I liked their little snark back and forth. And they were typical kids. They weren't, I like that. I don't read a lot of stories involving kids, but if I do, I like them to be kids. I don't like them to be like written out of their age group, if that makes sense. And these were written like typical kids. They were doing typical kid things. They thought like kids. They talked like kids. And it was really an enjoyable read. It was fun. I could see one of my kids enjoying reading this. I actually told my son about it. I said, hey, you need to read this one. And I think he's going to try to borrow it from the library because I told him it didn't have a crazy long list, like a waiting list. I think there were only like 2 people behind me. So I think he's going to try to borrow it from the library too, because it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was a spooky, fun, autumnal. It was very autumnal. It wasn't like crazy. I didn't feel like crazy Halloween vibes, but it did have autumnal and very spooky vibes, and I had a good time with it. And I'm not going like crazy far into these. I'm not going super detailed into a lot of these because I don't want to spoil anything mostly. And lastly, and this is my new favorite cozy fall read. This is one that I could see me reading like every year because it's so fun. And that is Pumpkinheads by Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks. Oh my gosh, this was so cute. This is a graphic novel, so it reads pretty quick, which is why I could see me reading it every year because it would be easy to read every year. I'm so sorry that it's taken me this long to acquire this book, and I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to finally get it into my TBR and actually read it. It was so freaking cute. These two, Josie and Deja, are the cutest friends ever. They are the sweetest. They're quips back and forth, and they're so supportive of each other, and they're so fun together. The art in here is so autumnal. I like that it just flows really well. The whole book flows really well, and I absolutely love these two as friends together. And it actually made me so sad that they're not going to be coming back to the pumpkin patch. But like, I absolutely loved everything about this, and I loved everything about them. I loved everything about this story, and I loved that they were, because I know I've told you what this is about, but you know, basically this is their last day of the pumpkin patch. They are seniors this year. They've enjoyed the last several years. They've worked together at this pumpkin patch every season. They only talk to each other during the season. The rest of the year, they don't see each other. They don't talk to each other. It's just when they're at the pumpkin patch. They work in the same booth every year. And this year, they're feeling a little kind of sad that this is their last year of the pumpkin patch. And they've decided to make the most of it. They've decided to really enjoy their last night at the pumpkin patch and to really live it up. So they're just having the best time. They're gonna live it to the fullest, their last shift. And yeah, I love Deja's personality. She is so cute. She's so fun, and she's just one of those just kind of extroverted, just loves everybody. And she's so bubbly and just so cute. And their personalities just mesh really well together because he is more shy and introverted, and she kind of brings him out of his shell a little bit. And I just love their combination. I love this duo so much. And I need a whole series on them. I really do. I need more. I couldn't get enough. I wanted this to keep going and going and going. Like, I could have read this the entire Halloween-a-thon and I would have been just fine. I would have been happy because I could have lived in this book. I want to jump into this book and live in it because it was so cute. But yeah, this is my number one this time. I think this was just the sweetest. And now I need like more. This is one, like, you find books like that sometimes where it's like you cannot get enough and you just want to devour it and you just need more. And this is it for me. I need more. I'll get into the movies now. Now that I've talked your ear off about that. I knew I would though. I only watched 3 movies because, like I said, I ran out of time. But that's what happens. I only had a week. We rewatched Coraline because, you know, we rewatch this every year. No, it's not Halloween. It's just spooky. Yeah, y'all know what Coraline is. I'm sure everybody has watched Coraline 100 times like we have. I don't even think I put the DVD back. I did not. But rewatch Coraline. It's always going to be a 5-star. It's nice and creepy. Someone on Instagram was saying that Coraline is so creepy they can't believe they were able to watch it. Or they can't believe they watched it as a kid. And I'm like, my kids love Coraline. So yeah, it's so funny. And then watched Cobweb. Cobweb was weird. I really enjoyed it. I watched that one by myself when everybody was gone. I'm really the only one here that watches like horror movies. My son is getting into it. He's asking me. He's 12. He'll ask me like, hey, can I watch this movie? And I'm kind of letting him watch more horror, depending on what's in it. Like, I'll look and see like what all content's in it before I let him watch it. And usually I'll watch it first before I let him. So, because I just want to see like, just to see what's in it. So I'm letting him watch more horror. But anyways, that one I watched by myself when nobody was home because I want to watch it first before I let him watch stuff. Anyway, so Cobweb was a really weird movie. So it's this kid, I think he's like around 10. And he kind of has this, like, he's kind of sad. He kind of seems like a really sad, like, depressed kid. He's got this, like, just dark cloud around him. I don't know. And it's kind of from his point of view. You're following him the whole time. And you can see from the beginning that there's something off about his parents. Like, there's something weird about them. They're really odd and creepy. And there's also something really odd and creepy about the house. And that's about all I'm going to say. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to say too much. There is definitely a Halloween vibe. There's definitely an autumnal vibe. And the whole movie is just got this very dark setting. Like, it's just a very dark, eerie, just unsettling vibe the whole time. Like, it doesn't go away. Just very unsettling. And yeah, so yeah, the kid, I have a hard time sometimes watching kid stuff. Like, where kids are going through things. I don't know why that's something that I have a hard time with, but I have a hard time with that. It was a creepy movie. It was creepy. The setting was really creepy. I really enjoyed the setting. It was very odd. Yeah, it was very odd. There were some odd things. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good movie. I felt like the quality of the movie was really good. I don't have a lot to compare it to because I'm embarrassingly behind on horror movies. I haven't watched a lot. As much horror as I read, I haven't watched as much. I'm not very good at giving reviews on movies. So I'm not going to give it a star rating or anything because I have no idea. But I thought it was good. I thought it was nice and creepy, nice and weird. And yeah, I can't say much without giving it away. So I'm not going to say a lot, just that it was really creepy and really weird. And yeah. And the last one I watched was Haunt. And this one was excellent setting. Like the setting was really good. It's in a haunted house, and these kids decide to go to this haunted house. Main character is in the beginning, she's done with her boyfriend. He's abusive, and I think he's like maybe got like an alcohol addiction or something. So he's like abusive, and she's with her friends for the night. They decide to go out. They talk her into going out with them, and she meets this guy while they're out, and they all decide to go to a haunted house. And this is a really creepy haunted house. Like there's nobody else there. It looks like it's the middle of nowhere. There aren't a lot of cars there. And to me, I'm like, this is a weird sign. Like, I don't know that I would go into this haunted house. So the setting's really eerie, really creepy. They get there and there's this clown outside. He's not even saying anything. The clown gives a really weird vibe. They have to give up their cell phones, but they get to keep the key that that their cell phones are locked in this lockbox, but they get to keep the key for the lockbox. So, but it's still really odd, you know? Well, yeah, so weird things happen in this haunted house. And I'm not gonna say a lot. It becomes like an escape room thing, kind of, but like worse. And yeah, so I'll say, just things got ugly in this haunted house. Things get ugly, and you know it's a horror movie, so you know things are gonna get ugly. Setting is freaking excellent, y'all. It's very like, it felt very claustrophobic in parts, and it was very eerie. It was very creepy, and like it gave me goosebumps. It gave me chills. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. It's much different watching it than it is reading it. I could tell you, like, it's just way different. It felt like I was there. It felt like I was in the movie. Like I watched it by myself at home. Nobody else was here, and so it was creepy. There were parts that I was like, ugh. Ew. So yeah, it was good. The setting, the acting to me was really good. I thought it gave me the creeps. It was really good. The only issue I had with it was that the people they made some really stupid ass mistakes, like really dumb mistakes. Things like, you know, as soon as they do it, you shouldn't have done that. Like, I knew. I'm like, that was stupid. No, why? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Like, now you're screwed. Like, now you're in trouble. You shouldn't have done that. And there were so many stupid mistakes that you just know that they shouldn't have done that. Even I feel like even in a bad situation, I would have made better decisions than that, but maybe not. I don't know. But they made some really dumb mistakes. And maybe that's just horror movies for you. I don't know. Is that just normal for horror movies, that they just make stupid mistakes? I don't know, but they made a lot of them. So I had a hard time with that. I wanted to reach in and smack them, be like, no, don't do that. That is stupid. But no, it was really good. It was creepy. So those were all the things. Yeah, so let me know down in the comments if you're participating in Halloween-a-thon, what you got up to in week 1, what your favorite thing was to do in week 1. I'd love to know. Next week I'll have week 2, and there will be more movies, more books, and I'm planning on starting a cross stitch that I got from a friend of mine. I'm really excited to start that, and I plan on finishing the diamond painting. So excited. I will see you next Friday. Bye for now.